Hello and welcome to TD's Pokemon Lair. I'm TD and this is the Lair. Today we'll be unboxing a box of 10 Pokemon cards I sent to Professional Sports Authenticator over a year ago, and I just got them back. They sent them in this nice little box, nicely packaged, so they're nice and safely sound, arriving at your house. Let's get them out of here and let's see what grades I got. We're looking at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Machoke, a first edition, the number 40 card. Looking at Machoke here, you can see that the front surface looks really clean. I don't see any bends, damage, or creases, no dirt. Our centering, I think, looks really good from top to bottom and side to side. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I don't see any damage there at all. Looking at the back of the card, you can see that the surface looks really clean. I don't see any problems there. Looking at our edges and our corners, I don't see any problems there. I think it's really clean. But looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think looks good, but from left to right, I think it's towards the left, probably out of tolerance. And we'll receive a grade of Mint 9 for this Machoke. I think it was the centering on the back that took us out. Let us examine a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Muck, a first edition, the number 41 card. Looking at this card, you can see it's very clean. There's no problems on the surface or the front of this card. There's no bends or creases. Our centering looks really nice from top to bottom and right to left. And our edges and our corners, I don't see any damage. And as we take a look at the back of the card, it looks really good. Taking a nice look at it. There's no problems on the surface. Looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're really clean. And looking at our centering from top to bottom and left to right, I think it's all within tolerance. And that's going to give us a grade of Gem Mint 10. I like it. I like it. How about a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Persian, a first edition, the number 42 card. This card looks really clean. There's no bends or creases in the front. No dirt or damage. Our centering looks really good from left to right, from top to bottom. It's a little towards the top, but it may be within spec. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I think they're nice and clean. The back of the card looks really clean. There's no dirt or damage, no creases. Our surface is really good. Looking at our centering from left to right and top to bottom, I think it's a little towards the top, but probably within tolerance. And finally, our corners and our edges, I found no damage. And we're going to get a grade of Gem Mint 10 for this Persian. Man, great card. This card is a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Primeape, a first edition number 43 card. Looking at the front of this card, I don't see any damage, creases, dirt, or any problems. Our centering, I think, is good between for the top to bottom and left to right. And our edges and our corners are nice and clean. Looking to the back of the card, it looks really good. I don't see any damage to the surface of the card. No creases, bends, or dirt. Our centering looks a little towards the bottom, from the top to bottom and the right to left. I think it's within tolerance. And I think the top to bottom centering might be in tolerance too. And our corners and our edges, I don't find any damage. And we're going to get a grade of Gem Mint 10. Man, that's pretty good. I like it. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Rapidash, a first edition, the number 44 card. Front of this card looks really nice. I don't see any dirt, damage, or creases, bends, or anything that will cause problems. Our centering is a little to the left, from left to right, and a little bit towards the bottom, I think. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I don't see any damage. As we get to the back of the card, you can see that our surface and graphics are nice and clean. There's no problems on those. Looking at our centering, it is definitely towards the left and towards the bottom, probably out of spec. And finally, our corners and our edges, there is some damage to the lower right corner. And that's going to give us a grade of Mint 9 for this Rapidash. I like it. Man, thank you. Let's dive into looking at this 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Vaporeon, a first edition, the number 45 card. Looking at this card, you can see that it's been taken care of. There's no dirt, damage, or creases to the front of the card. Looking at our centering, from side to side it looks pretty good. From top to bottom I think it's slightly towards the top. And our corners and our edges show no damage that I can find. As we turn this card over and look at the back, you can see that the surface and graphics are nice and clean. There's no issues there. Looking at our centering, from side to side I think it's within tolerance, but from top to bottom I think it's out of tolerance towards the top. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, I found some slight damage on the lower right corner. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9 for this Dark Vaporeon. Man, this old card did well. We've got a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Dark Wartortle, a first edition, the number 46 card. Looking at the front of this card, there's no problems on the surface. I don't see any dirt, damage, creases, or anything like that. Our centering, from left to right I think is within tolerance, but from top to bottom I think it's out of tolerance towards the bottom. Our corners and our edges, though, look very clean. As I look at the back of this card, you can see that the surface and graphics are not, there's no issues there. They're very clean. Looking at our centering, you can see that it's from side to side, it's to the left, and from top to bottom it's towards the bottom. And looking at our corners and our edges, the lower right corner has some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9. I like it. I like it like that. Hey, let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Magikarp, a first edition, the number 47 card. I take a look at the centering on this card. The centering on the front looks really good from top to bottom, left to right. Finally, looking at our edges and our corners, I think they look really good. Our surface has no damage or dirt or anything like that that I can find. As we look at the back of the card, the centering looks really good from left to right and top to bottom. And looking at our surface of the card, it's really clean. I don't see any dirt, damage, or anything like that. And finally, looking at our corners and our edges, our two right corners and the lower left corner all have some slight damage. And that's going to give us a grade of mint 9 for Magikarp. I like it. Really, I do. Let's look at this 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Porygon, a first edition, the number 48 card. Porygon's surface looks great. I don't see any damage, issues, or dirt. Our centering, I think, is within spec from top to bottom and left to right. And our corners and our edges, I don't see any damage at all. As we take a look at the back of the card, you can see that the centering looks really good from top to bottom and right to left. Our edges and our corners really look pretty clean. I don't see any damage. Let me look again. And finally, our surface of the card looks really clean. There's no dirt or damage. And that's going to give us a grade of Gem Mint 10. Porygon gained a 10. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's look at a 2000 Pokemon Team Rocket Abra, a first edition, the number 49 card. Looking at the front surface of this card, I don't see any damage to it. The surface looks really clean, no dirt or creases. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's slightly towards the top, and from side to side I think it's within tolerance. So I think we're pretty good. Looking at the back of the card, the front surface and graphics I think are really clean. I don't see any issues there. Looking at our centering from top to bottom, I think it's within tolerance. From left to right, I think it's towards the right and possibly out of tolerance. Looking at our corners and our edges, our two lower corners and our upper right corner all have some damage, and there's a little bit of damage down the right edge. And we'll receive a grade of near mint 8. That's still pretty good. I appreciate you spending the time and watching my video. Please subscribe and like, and don't forget, gotta catch them all. Have a great day.